Ranger in Time, Escape from the Great Earthquake, a Scholastics book by Kate Messner. Chapter 11, Countdown to Dynamite. Lily huddled with May in the doorway of a nearby laundry. "Is there a back way into your family's apartment?" she asked. May shook her head. "It's just a single room behind the store. There's a window, but I'm not sure it'd fit. What if the back alley is guarded?" "We can check." Lily slipped out from the doorway and ducked into the alley behind the Wong store. A soldier on a horse stood guard at the far end of the street. He was facing the other way. I can't turn the page. "Don't make a sound," Lily whispered. She was thankful now that the little canary didn't sing. They slipped from doorway to doorway until they were behind the store. "All right." May took a deep breath and started across the street. Lily pulled her back. "You can't just burst out and climb in the window," she whispered. "If the soldier sees, he'll think you're breaking in to loot. And with the mayor's orders..." Lily shook her head. She couldn't say the words aloud. The only way to make sure the soldier's attention didn't land on May was to give him someone else to worry about. "Let me go down the alley first," Lily said. "I'll approach him asking for help with, I don't know, something. I'll get him turned away so you can go in. Stay hidden until then." "What if..." May bit her lip. Then she said, "All right, I'll be very fast. Should we meet back by the laundry?" Lily nodded. "Be safe." She looked down at Ranger and whispered, "Ready, dog? You're coming with me." Ranger nuzzled Lily's hand and followed her into the alley. After a few steps, Lily's shoes crunched down on some shards of broken window. The soldier whirled his horse around. "Area's closed off," he shouted. Lily stopped. "Can you help me, please?" she said. "I thought I saw some men looting shops." She pointed past the soldier away from the Wong store. "I can show you." The officer frowned. He started towards Lily, but then turned back to look up and down the street. "Come here," he said. Lily's heart thumped so hard she felt as if the earth might be shaking again. Ranger, there she is, being a distraction. Ooh, look at his hat. Pretty cool, huh? Look, Ranger looks worried. He nudged her hand and they walked to the soldier. Lily stared up at him. "It was up on Stockton." "Show me." The soldier turned his horse and started up the street, but then glass smashed behind him. "No!" May must have knocked the window loose. The soldier whirled his horse around and started down the alley. Ranger wasn't sure what to think of this soldier, but he knew May was back there. He knew from all the whispers that she and Lily didn't want anyone to know, but the soldier was riding that way. Ranger started barking. The soldier looked over his shoulder. "What's the dog's problem?" He turned back toward the Wong store. Ranger ran up to the corner, barked and growled. He ran back to the soldier and barked again. Back and forth he raced until Lily said, "Oh, I bet he's seen the looters." She ran to the corner with Ranger and pointed. "Look!" The soldier galloped up behind her and narrowed his eyes. "I don't see anyone." Ranger ran ahead of them and stepped up to a doorway of a restaurant. He growled into the broken down darkness until the soldier rode up to him and peered into the building too. Lily dropped her birdcage and bundle. She pointed into the empty building and prayed the dog would keep barking at the imaginary looters. Where'd they go, boy? Ranger barked into the building. He stepped carefully into the entrance. The building smelled of plaster and dust and chicken and grease. There were no men here, but Ranger could hear Lily talking with a soldier outside. He's a good dog. He'll bark if he finds them. Ranger stayed inside until he heard horses' hooves on the cobblestone. Was the soldier leaving? Ranger barked. The hooves stopped. Ranger padded out into the smoky afternoon light. Lily looked up at the soldier and shook her head. They must have gotten away. Perhaps you should. I will return to my post, the soldier said. You will leave the area as ordered. Of course. Lily gathered her things and started towards the alley. The soldier pointed up the block. The other way, now! He raised his rifle. Lily and Ranger hurried away. Halfway up the block, Lily stopped and turned to look back. The soldier was gone. He was probably already back at the entrance of the alley. She and the dog had only managed to keep him busy for a few minutes. Had it been long enough for May to get the papers and slip away? Lily led the dog around the block. She circled back to the laundry, where she and May had agreed to meet. The doorway was empty. The street was littered with bricks and glass as usual, but Ranger spotted something else edging in the cobblestone. He trotted over and found a tiny cloth doll. Ranger sniffed it. It smelled of cotton, dust, and May. Ranger barked. Lily looked down and picked up the doll. She'd often seen May carry the little cloth figure on the way to school. Had May left it for her on purpose to let her know she'd continue to the park to find Lee? Lily looked up and down the street. May wasn't there, but a new soldier was approaching. Lily didn't wait to have any gun pointed at her. Come, dog. She turned and hurried up the hill. Behind her, a great booming blast shook the city. Had the men started blowing up the buildings? Another explosion shook the street, and a cloud of dust filled the sky. How many would have to be destroyed to stop the fire? Would they dynamite the mission house, the Wong store, and home? Lily was beginning to wonder if anything would be left of the city when this day finally ended.